Joining us now is our next guest is none other than Kaiko, Senior Research Analyst, Dessislava, Aubert. Dessislava, you take a look at entities like whales, which are these large traders of XRP, and you would think that what exactly are they doing here right now in the markets?
Thank you. It's great to be here. So XRP has been one of the top performers last month. As you said, it's up over 30% in March, outperforming Bitcoin and other altcoins. We have seen some strong increase in trade volumes, especially in Korean markets, and also some quite robust increase in open interest. So it has been partly driven, so the chart you are showing now, it's XRP trade volumes on Korean exchanges. It has increased quite meaningfully from around 200 million average daily. So we have seen a strong rebound in trade volumes on Korean markets from around 200 million to almost 800 million at the end of March. And it has been partly driven by this narrative, right, around the possible victory in the legal battle with the SEC. However, when we looked at trade data, we kind of saw that other factors may be at play, in particular some strong retail demand on Korean markets. We know that these markets are very strongly driven by retail trading. So we kind of looked into the buy and sell volumes on Korean markets, and we saw that for orders above 200,000 K XRP, so this is around 100K in dollars. We assume these are whale traders. There is more selling than buying, and for smaller orders below 200K XRP, we have seen some strong buying. So retail demand has definitely played a role in the recent XRP rally, and also other technical factors such as liquidity. Liquidity is particularly thin right now in crypto markets.
It's really interesting, your points about Korea. I just wrote a long article about retail in Korea, the Terra Luna crash, and came to some similar conclusions. I'm just curious, have you looked at other tokens besides XRP? Because my understanding is that the Korean retail market is pushing up actually quite a few tokens. I'm wondering if there's other coins that have gotten on your radar.
Absolutely. Korean markets are very altcoin driven. We recently looked into the altcoin traded on these markets. Just to give you an idea, the share of altcoin on Korean markets is around 90%. This is really high. And on Coinbase, for example, the share of altcoins is just 40%. So relative to other markets, they are very driven by retail trading. We looked at the top 10 altcoins traded on these exchanges by cumulative trade volumes. For this year, XRP has been the largest one in terms of trade volumes, of course, because of the recent rally, because of the low Korean exchanges played in the rally. But most of the top 10 altcoins on these exchanges are really small cap altcoins. And this also is quite different from other exchanges. On Coinbase, for example, if you look at the top 10 altcoins, most of them are ranked within the top 100 in market cap, so really large cap altcoins. In Korean markets, you can see altcoins are ranked from 6 to 374. So it's really...
Any reason for that? Well, I'm just curious, why are altcoins so hot in Korea compared to Coinbase, for example?
Well, historically, retail demand has been strong in Korea, and it's a bit of an isolated market, right, because of regulation. So it's really a particularity of this market. Yes, this is the chart. It's the market share of altcoins versus Bitcoin and Ethereum on Korean markets, the 4 big Korean exchanges. We compare them with Binance and Coinbase, and we can clearly see that the share of altcoins is really high. On average, on Binance, we have 60% of the altcoins. On Coinbase, it's even lower, 40%. On Korean markets, it's 90%.
Wow. So, In other words, it is cultural. In other words, it is part of a cultural, but also economic. So if you do suspect, though, that if Korea were to open up its markets a little more, do you think that would ultimately shrink the share of altcoins, or do you think that it just has such a, at this point, kind of a cachet in South Korea that people will just say, you know what, we're going to stick to the alts, we're going to gamble a little here and have fun with it?
Well, it's hard to say. Probably, yes, it will bring more international capital. For sure, it will be kind of balance the share of altcoins on these exchanges. It is hard to say.
We wanted to just check in with you about Bitcoin because Bitcoin did reclaim 30K this morning. Bernstein analyst said that FTX's collapse was the catalyst for a new bullish cycle. What's your take? Are macro catalysts like that aligning for Bitcoin?
Well, the latest Bitcoin rally has been macro-driven, right? It has started with the Fed providing emergency liquidity to banks in the United States. So definitely macro is playing a huge role in the current rally. We have seen that markets are now expecting rate cuts in the second half of the year. So there is still a lot of uncertainty around whether this will be the case or not. So I think ultimately it will depend on how the US monetary policy turns out. And just one thing about Korean markets, we have seen some very encouraging data from China for the first quarter of the year, with growth numbers exceeding expectation. We think that this will ultimately be really bullish for Asian markets and for risk sentiment in Asian countries. Chinese growth is expected to accelerate in the second half of the year.
All right. Well, thanks so much for that, Dessislava Aubert. Great to have you on the show. We look forward to having you back. Thanks so much.